99% of relationships go through this predictable cycle. They start off with attraction. You get magnetized, she gets magnetized. There's a spark, there's a connection. You get together, you discover that you want to spend more time together. You start fucking. And then, as you start to release your seed with this woman, you find that she starts to irritate you. You want more space. Or you find that you're becoming more and more de-energized, and you start feeling clingy, like you need her to be your mummy. These are the two directions it tends to go in. And it's based on who has the more energy. If you're nutting with her, she's absorbing your energy. You're pushing her energy up. And relative to her, you're dropping down. So you're either going to get sick of her, you're going to get bored, or you're going to start getting clingy and needy and turn into a little beta. Now, this is where women start to feel disgusted by you, and they'll do whatever they can to push you away. Or if they want to hang on to the benefits of having you around, they'll keep stringing you along with just enough sex, just enough attention to satisfy your male ego while they go and cheat on you. Even if they're not having sex with someone else, they'll still be flirting, getting attention, lapping up that attention from all those orbiters, talking to those alpha males, absorbing that energy. Attention is energy. So the solution is retention, unconditionally. There's no if, but, or maybe about this. Either you're going to get sick of her and go on to the next one and repeat the whole cycle again until you come across one who has more energy than you, then you're going to get whipped and you're going to be in her chokehold and she's going to use you. There's only those two options if you're releasing. But here's what happens if you retain. If you're retaining, your energy level is, by default, already higher than 99% of the men in your environment. You are pre-selected by default. This happens within the first week or two. You're already rising higher. Now, as you attract women, as they notice this energy because they feel it, biologically they need it. This is their energy source. You are the energy source. As the man, you are setting the pace. You are the dynamic power in your environment. Everything has to follow you because you are the energy. This is what we are custodians of as men. We are the energy. We are built to give. Biologically, that's how we're designed, to give energy. We are the sun. Astrologically, the masculine is represented as the sun. We're the power source. And women are the reflection. Now, in our postmodern age with feminism and all this bullshit political correctness, we're taught to believe that women are these independent units which are like men. They can be independent, they can lead us. But it's not meant to be like that. And what you find with women in these positions where they're leading other men, it's not because they necessarily want to be there, it's because they have been conditioned to think that they're meant to. Or they've been conditioned to think that men are weak and inept, or they've been shown that most men in our modern culture are weak and inept, or straight up toxic. But as we retain, we become the sun, we become the power source in our environment, and the women around us can't help but reflect that light back to us. And you're going to start magnetizing these women, pulling them in, because they need that energy. They feed off it. They want to reflect it. They want to absorb it. They want to receive it. Now, as you find these different women coming to you, if you go down the path of simply sleeping with them, having sex with them, and you're just using that for a temporary pleasure kick, pleasure source, you're going to notice that if you're doing it with multiple women and you're not locked in and you're not going deeper with one particular woman, you're going to notice that your energy starts to feel drained. This is because, like a magnet, she is literally absorbing, even if you're not releasing, she is literally absorbing your excess energy. She's soaking that up. And you'll find in the initial interactions, when you're just starting to see her, just starting to have sex with her, it's very electrically charged. But the more you give into this experience, the more you give into her frame, the more invested you get. If there's not an equal exchange, right? If she's not following your lead, if she's also sleeping with other guys, which most likely she is, if she's just giving it up for you without commitment, it's most likely she's sleeping with other dudes. And this dynamic is bleeding you of energy. Now, if on the other hand, a woman comes to you and she is showing signs of wanting to commit to you, she's showing you those signs of being sweet, of being kind, bringing you things, treating you like a king, speaking to you like a king, showing you respect, which if you're retaining, that's going to be a frequent occurrence because you're unlike anything she's ever experienced, most likely. If you start to feel a deeper connection with her and you're discerning that she is a good woman for you to start locking in with, then over time, she's going to start craving your nut. She's going to start wanting you to release. This is natural because she feels the balance of power is tipped in your favor. She can inherently feel energetically, biologically, that you are the leader. And so as a woman, her natural instinct is she's going to want to try and bring you down. I know that sounds fucked up, but biologically speaking, a woman to really feel secure needs to know that she can test her man on every possible level, that she can throw tantrums, that she can show you little signs of disrespect, that she can do things that piss you off. And this is biological. This is how it's meant to be because she is testing every single weak spot. If she is going to carry your seed and give birth to your child, she needs to know that you're a good long-term bet. This is how she's wired. So she's going to do everything to seduce you into releasing your seed onto her. This is natural. Now, what most men are going to do here is they're going to feel like, especially if they're invested, especially if they're feeling this deep connection, they're going to start feeling like, oh, I should really show her that I love her by giving her my seed. Watch how your mind starts to work against you here. I should really demonstrate that I love her by giving the most valuable thing that I have to her. Right? Do not do this. Do not do this. You'll notice that up until that point, your relationship is going amazing. It's like things just keep building and building. If you're locked in together, if there's this equal exchange of energy, She's giving back to you. She's praising you. She's treating you like your royalty. Your relationship will be building and building in quality if you're not releasing, because that charge is building. That magnetic field between the two of you is growing. The energy is enhancing. Yin and yang are forming this complementary field which grows. This is what real love is. This is what we never see in our Western modern culture, because this is such a rarity. But back in tribal cultures, you know, I'm half Samoan, and I know for a fact that before Western colonization in Samoa, and even to this day, Samoans are built like bricks. They're huge. You know, we went over to Samoa when I was about 16, 17, 18 years old, and you're walking through the streets there and every guy is like a fucking bodybuilder. They look scary in a good way. They look unfuckwithable. And what you realize is that in these indigenous cultures, they actually valued the seed. They hadn't descended into the debauchery that we have in our Western cultures, where we've really let ourselves go, where we've allowed lust to take over like wildfire. In these cultures where the warrior was highly valued and actually highly vital for the survival of the tribe, if you didn't have strong warriors, you're going to get overtaken by other tribes. That's going to happen quickly. They're going to smell weakness and they're going to come in, kill all of the men and take all of the women. That's just the law of the jungle, which we've grown so disconnected with in our artificial matrix environment. But it was crucial for these men to maintain, to hold their seed. They weren't just shooting that shit out everywhere at a whim. They weren't wasting it. So in this container of a relationship where you're starting to get that charge building up between a man and a woman, that love, that's what it actually is. It's the energy of love. It's the glue that's holding you together. This sexual connection is just a bridge for the transfer of energy, for the building of energy. And as soon as you release, you are discharging all of the energy of that relationship. You are shooting the energy of the relationship out of the container. You're discharging the love. Literally. And so you're going to get bored, or she's going to get bored, or both. And you're going to start hating each other. And then you're going to think that some other woman's going to do it for you. You're going to start projecting that the girl you're with is just not smart enough, or she doesn't get you, or she's not a good fit for you. But actually, most of the time, what I'm realizing is that most of the time, this woman is fine. There's nothing wrong with her. You're projecting all this shit onto her. And I see this so much now, especially in this culture where we're having more open discussion between men about the problems with modern women. And I'm not denying that there are a lot of issues with modern women. A lot of these women are straight up insane. But they're not insane because that's just the way they are. They are insane because the men in our culture have become so weak. The men in our culture have been using women as pleasure objects, shooting their shot, shooting their seed, wasting their life force, then getting bored of these women and just going on to the next one, breaking their hearts, creating trauma. I'm not saying women are victims, because they've now used this and turned around, and a lot of them have turned into monsters, and they're now acting like demons and using this against men. But the root of the problem is that we've been releasing. We have been sucking the heart out of our relationships by releasing. And if we hold on and we stay the journey, we stay the path, and we don't release, she is only going to become more in love with you as time goes on. She is only going to treat you like more of a king. She is only going to get more and more invested into you. This is the revelation that I've been having. And you are not going to get bored of her, because why would you run out and go and chase another woman when this beautiful feminine creature is here with you, in love with you? She respects you. She looks at you as her king. Why the hell would you waste that? There's nothing better out there. It's basically all the same. You're going to get a different, slightly different personality, different features, physical features, but none of that matters. When you're inside her, connecting with her, when your souls are touching, it's no different if she's this woman, that woman, she looks like this or that. There's really no difference, because you are in that moment fully engaged, fully locked in with pure feminine energy. Pure feminine energy. So you're not going to be looking for anything else, because you're not discharged, you're not depleted. So you can't lie to yourself and say, there's something better out there, I need that experience, I need that other woman. This is where black pill, red pill falls apart, because these black pill, red pill dudes, and I've been there, have been wasting their seed. They've been running around acting like demons, and now they're seeing through the illusion. They're seeing through this self-created illusion that actually women also behave like demons. And now they're pointing the finger and saying it's all the women's fault, or they're projecting the blame onto the women. Oh, modern women are fucked. We need to go back to the old times. Yeah, we do need to go back to the old times when men respected themselves. When you respect yourself, she can't help but respect you. She can't help but fall into line. It's magnetics. If you're positively charged, you're going to attract negative charge. If your masculine charge is high, you're going to attract feminine charge. There's no way around that. And that feminine charge is going to stay glued to you as long as your masculine charge is on point. The moment you deplete that, she's going to think you're a dick. She's going to hate you. She's going to lose all respect for you. She's going to go look for another man who's actually got his charge. That's just magnetics. That's just chemistry. So you can't look at that and go, oh shit, women are fucked. All women are the same. Blah, blah, blah. Get into your victim story so that you can retreat into your shell and continue your debaucherous practices of wasting your God essence and blaming women. You're just going to stay locked in victimhood, bro. So let go of that and just realize it's really simple. Just hold your seed. Don't let it go for anything. Even to make a baby, if you're at that point in life where you're like, I'm ready to create a child, you don't have to lose your load. They teach this in Gnostic teachings. This is an ancient spiritual philosophy that goes back God knows how far, based on very, very ancient traditions, where they actually show you that you can reproduce without blowing your load. This whole idea that we have to release 300 to 400 million sperm cells to create a baby is complete horseshit. You don't have to deplete yourself even to make a baby. You can, by tapping into your intuition, which you're going to be very tapped into, as you go deeper and deeper into retention, you're going to actually start to feel your body. You're going to start feeling nature. You're going to start feeling the rhythm of life. And don't write that off just because you've been programmed to be rationalistic. This is what the ancient cultures all do. The ones who are still in touch. They're actually in touch with nature, with the seasons, with the stars, with the patterns of the ocean, the patterns of the moon. They know all this stuff, not because they got taught from a book, but because they are actually connected to it. And the further you go on this journey, the more you're connecting with yourself, with your body, the more you're going to feel the right time. When you feel the right time, when your woman is ovulating at the peak of her ovulation, it's going to feel a certain way. You're going to be tapped into that. And at that time, at that very specific time, you can have sex without releasing a load. And a single sperm cell is all that's needed. And the Gnostics actually teach that this single sperm cell which comes out of you without you ejaculating is going to be pre-selected as the strongest, most powerful cell that's currently in your nuts at that time. This is kind of crazy. So without you discharging and depleting yourself of energy, you release a single cell and it's going to find its way to that egg, because the time, the place, the rhythm, all the stars, the universe will be smiling upon that moment because it's meant to be. This is what they teach is the meaning of immaculate conception. Clean conception. Without putrefying yourself, without making yourself unclean, as it talks about in the book of Exodus, any man who has a discharge of semen shall remain unclean until evening. He shall separate himself and wash himself and remain unclean till evening. The Bible's talking about your energetic state. When you discharge, when you release, your entire energy drops and you go into this state of depletion. That's what it means by unclean. But you don't have to do that if you're tapped in, tuned in, and you're doing things by intuition. You can create a baby without releasing your load. So I say all of that to remind you that this is the key. It's the key. There's no other thing that is going to change you, that is going to keep you in a holy, powerful, loving relationship, if that's what you choose, more than this. It's not about how much effort you put into the relationship. You know enough already to know that oftentimes the more effort you put into a relationship, the worse it's becoming, paradoxically, because it's showing you're coming from a depleted, lack state, and you're trying to make up for it with external action, acting sweet, doing things for her, showing her how much you love her. She doesn't care about any of that shit. That's hitting a brick wall because she can feel your energy. She can feel that you're depleted. Had a bit of caffeine this morning, bit amped up. 2 cups of chai tea, that's all it took. But because I'm so pure, I'm getting purer and purer. I've cut out coffee, I've not been smoking, none of that. My body's becoming very sensitive. I've taken like 6 pisses in the last hour. My body's just like, get this caffeine out of me. So this is the solution, brothers. Don't underestimate this. It's the key. Don't let it go for anything, not even to make a baby. All this stuff we've been taught about, modern women, modern relationships, all this stuff we see in the media, looking at these weak-ass dudes, these beta males who are married and thinking, I could never do that because I don't want to be a beta male. I don't want to be a slave to my wife. I don't want to get disrespected by this woman for the next 40, 50, 60 years. What benefit is there in that? I'm going to be a MGTOW. I'm going to be a man going my own way. I'm going to be a true alpha roaming, fucking whoever I want, whenever I want. Remember, deep down, this is not what you really want. Deep down, you want to be with a queen who respects you and treats you like a king. This is your true heart's desire. But you've just become jaded by our modern culture, and you've bought into this illusion because you've been coming with yourself or with her or both. And now you think the only solution is for you to be on your own. That's bullshit, and you know it. So retain, no matter what, for the rest of your life. Sounds hardcore, but it's true. Much love, brothers.